Call the meeting over if you could, please. I need help. Just think of the big picture. I see that. First order of business would be minutes from August 1st and the August 8th meeting.
Motion to approve both minutes.
Motion been made by Sam Hutchins. Is there a second? Second by Jerry Hahn. Any further discussion? All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Disapprove? The motion will carry. Next would be your bills list and your additional bills list. And transfers. I don't think there's any transfers. No. Anybody got any questions on any specific bills?
On the first page, that House Bill 388, is that rocket docket?
What,
Kentucky County fees about halfway down.
Kentucky County? Oh, no, that's a mandatory for the public advocacy, the public defender's office, I guess is where that money goes. That's a statutory requirement.
Tom Hall's office.
The state sends that mandate to us every year. Right, Rhonda?
Yes.
Yeah. I remember it being about $2,500, $3,000, so it's gone up over the years. It's based on population, I think, and Rhonda, that's my memory.
One for you, John. This Team Boone, it says rented excavator, tire replaced. Is that for rent and a tire at $3,900 on
That's
that?
for a tire.
That's just the tire.
Just a tire.
39.
Just a tire. Okay.
Here's that articulating truck we rented,
Okay.
big tire.
So you remember we discussed that one time before?
Yeah.
And we were disappointed that we didn't get any compensation for it. So, but the contract called for it, we'll pay for it, and then we'll watch who we do business with.
Yeah, I agree.
The fine lines, anyway.
I'll make a motion to pay the bills as presented.
Thank you. Second?
And transfer.
And transfer.
Transfer, okay. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Second by Jeff Lear. All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Disapprove? Motion will carry. Next will be your Bluegrass Network franchise request. Still have got some outstanding questions on that franchise agreement. If you remember, the map showed the line coming through Bardstown through by way of 62, Bluefield Road, come to town, going 62 to Boston, then branching out, hitting the schools. Now, that's just a wire. That doesn't mean anybody's going to be serving anybody any internet service, right, Jeff?
That's correct.
And so somewhere along the line, Bluegrass may take an interest and start serving some of the areas here, because it would be a non-exclusive franchise, and Bardstown's got a non-exclusive, which means that they can go over top of each other sometimes. I don't understand why they're coming through our county, other than they're trying to connect the whole state. And I thought I would invite these folks to one of our fiscal court meetings to get a little more detail, if that's okay with you guys.
So we need to table this for the time.
Yeah.
Sounds like a great idea.
It doesn't cost us anything, other than...
Well, it looks like a whole lot of duplication if I'm seeing
The
what.
city of Bardstown is covered, and Jeff's personal company is covered on it.
No, that, AT&T 2 years ago, run a lot of cable, remember going to the fairgrounds?
Here to
Yeah.
They
here.
run down Boston Road, and down, they run beyond my house.
Judge, I have some information.
Okay.
From emergency management.
All this is already done.
This connectivity is more for governmental use than it is for public use.
We're already connected.
Well, this is from Frankfurt, so that across the state, governmental entities are connected back to Frankfurt. My understanding is they're also supposed to have EM offices, fire departments, police departments, all those intricate public agencies are supposed to be using, or this is for.
It's available, but you gotta have an
Right.
internet company
Right.
provide it.
But that's what the wiring is.
The wiring is the hardware.
Interconnectivity for government
Wiring.
agencies.
So we'll see how it plays out. We're gonna ask them some questions.
How far will that line go out? I mean, like if the line's right here, will it go to New Havens? Will it go
Well,
to Bluefield?
I had, the hospitals were supposed to be connected to it, yet Thomas Nelson and Flaherty Hospital are not in the plan. So I think they have some holes in it.
Okay, I'll have them coordinate, start preparing your questions, and I'll try to get them one of our coordinators.
Well, don't the city of Bardstown right now go to New Haven schools?
No, isn't that
Yes.
Time Warner?
That's
No,
Spectrum.
no.
Spectrum.
City of Bardstown goes to both, New Haven School.
Oh, yeah,
library.
they came in around Boston, too,
Yes.
that way, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I do remember.
They got one line ran. just
All the schools
like
are
that.
served by internet service of some sort. Correct, yeah.
So we want to table.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask those guys to come.
Okay.
Court meeting.
Okay.
Usually the franchise agreements that I've seen over the years is through the cable TV companies, there's an agreement in there, or a section in there where they will agree to cover so many people per mile. But here, there's no mention
No
of that.
benefit to the average customer at all.
No. And I'm not so sure that we can say no anyway, but let's go a little bit further with it. There's an article that was on the Nelson County Gazette, I believe, I'll quote the article, that said that they were way over budget on this project.
Well, the state initiative, I don't know, is this,
This is part of the state initiative,
Okay.
yeah. Bloomfield water tank lease. Joe, we never got a corrected copy from Bloomfield.
I emailed Mayor Hagan twice, but
Okay.
did not get a response, so we may want to table that.
Well, Joe, why don't you explain to the court what we're trying to do?
Sure.
And then let them take it from there.
As a part of our solution to handle law enforcement communications, radio communications, we're looking at a site roaming using multiple repeaters. At first, we want to use three sites. We already have a site in New Haven. We want to put a site in Bloomfield, and we have the site at Salt River Tower. And we use either microwave from Bloomfield or Spectrum internet service from New Haven to connect those repeaters. What that allows is the deputy or the sheriff or the law enforcement side would not have to change their channel on their radio when they get in those areas. The radio itself would be what we call pinging all the time in several milliseconds, looking for the strongest signal. So if they go to New Haven, of course, they're going to hit that repeater, and their radio would know to talk to that repeater. In the background, using the internet and microwave system, those repeaters be interconnected, so they would be talking back to Salt River Tower, which and then be talking to dispatch. So we talked to Bloomfield mayor and the waterworks over there with the Jewel, and they've given us permission to use their water tank as a tire site, either at 1066 or at Chaplin, whichever deems to be the better of the two. The equipment is ordered for that.
And those are used all over the state, water tanks?
Yeah, water tanks are a very good tire site because they have a big ground plane. The top of them, they're all steel, so that makes them actually better than a radio tire. It gives it a bigger ground plane, which helps send that signal out better. So, and we don't have to have the height. If we're using multiple sites, we can be a little bit lower in height. So that first phase is to connect New Haven, Bloomfield, and Salt River together in a site roaming system. And we're moving forward with that equipment.
What I like to do, they go, the court would authorize me to sign a lease agreement with the city of Bloomfield and bring you back with a signed copy. Just some language need to be changed, just a little
Clarification.
How much
Just to clean
equipment
up.
is needed on this?
We've ordered, we've already approved, the court has already approved and ordered the bulk of the equipment for the Bloomfield site. There'll be some residual equipment, but we're in the $15,000 range. We have to, the only thing we did not approve is the environmental controlled outdoor cabinet for the equipment to be in. That'd be $2,500 or so.
How far, Joe, will like the tire in New Haven, that microwave signal or whatever you're talking about, how far will that go? Let's go 25 miles?
Well, I think there's we're talking about two different things. There will not be a microwave in New Haven. It's too low. So we need Spectrum internet service to connect that back. The repeater itself, and I think the sheriff can give some information. There seems to be pretty good coverage with the exception of maybe the far end of the county in lower New Hope area. I think there's still some weakness there, and we may have to address that somewhere down the line, but we met last week, Wednesday, with the administrative staff for the sheriff's department, Judge and I, and sheriff. And what I brought away from that meeting, and they're doing some more checking, but their mobile radios seem to be doing pretty good.
Mobile being cars.
Mobile being the radio in their car, which is a 50-watt radio. Where they're having their biggest problem is their 5-watt hand-talkie, their walkie-talkie. And when they get out of the car in those areas, they don't have any reception or transmission because they're way too far away. And that's not what the 5-watt radio was meant to do. So we've come up with another solution we're going to try. We've ordered 4 wireless microphones that use Bluetooth technology that will extend their car radio. They can get out with a wireless microphone and extend their mobile by at least 300 feet. I'll let y'all look at
These are
that.
units that will set, those small units that will set in the cars.
300 feet of the vehicle.
Yeah.
About a football field.
Well, that's the information.
If they run further than that, they're in trouble.
So that in those areas where they're walking.
Actually, let me interrupt, that, they say 1,000 feet, I believe, on the sales pitch.
It's like 30 meters.
The sales pitch is a little different than reality.
I want to be conservative at 300 feet. So we got 4 of those coming. We're going to put those, install those in their administrative cars, and they're going to go around the county and use those for a while. See if that technology.
We already got them ordered for $5
Yeah.
piece, I approved
So they'll be in probably this week, and it takes some programming issue on the car radio to accept that. And then a little bit of education on the officer side on how to connect them when they get out of the car to connect, Bluetooth connect. I liken it to a ear set for your phone. It's Bluetooth. It's similar technology. So we're moving forward with that. An update on reprogramming, while I'm there, might as well do that. We're 99% complete on reprogramming all the sheriff's radio equipment for the digital frequencies. We're building the profiles now for the county fire department, Nelson County Fire Department. They're going to go digital, and we'll start reprogramming all their radios next week, and EMS will go digital probably a couple of weeks after that. So we're moving forward with getting off of analog and over into a digital format.
That's a never-ending cycle. Next year, they're going to come out with something else, and everything you did this year is going to be.
Technology's changing faster than we're able to keep up.
Guys, you approve, authorize me to sign a lease with Bloomfield. Thank you. Second by Sam. All approved, say aye. Disapprove? The motion will carry. And Joe, as soon as you get those corrected copies, let me know, please.
Yes, I'll try to get rid of all of them.
Landfill solid waste report. John?
Got the notice of intent for the landfill expansion permit submitted to Frankfurt last week, so that's kind of back, and he submitted, and they do comments. They said it averages, they'll send comments back twice, so we'll probably get comments on that permit again. It's a pretty lengthy packet, it's about 600 pages.
Should have put another 600 that were,
Should have.
got lost in the weeds.
Yep. Every 5 years, we have to do an area solid waste plan. So basically, we advertised in the paper last week. The public has 30 days to comment on that plan, and then we approve it in our court meeting. So we'll look at that for our September 19th court meeting. Other than that, just normal operations. Samuel's Hall, gonna advertise that tomorrow in the paper, and then open bid September 1st. So we'll look at those results next court meeting as well.
Okay. Thank you. Road Department report, Craig?
For bush hogs, we completed mowing District 1 for the 3rd time. We're over in District 3, and then we'll just keep going through. I told you guys last court meeting, we down one tractor. We're supposed to get that tractor back today. So 10 o'clock is what time they're telling us. So hopefully we'll be back up and going there. Boom mower, we've done 3 of Sam's 5 requested roads in his district, and then we'll move to District 4. But Jeff, actually what we did, we improvised. We took our grade all and a pole saw, and we've knocked out Mobley Mill, Sullivan Lane, and Leo Spalding over the last week with that crew, because we kind of got caught up, so we sent those guys to do that. So that helped us get ahead of the game a little bit in your area. And we'll just continue to keep on going through everybody's area. I mean,
Also, it's do that quite a bit.
That brings
Excuse me,
up a
sir.
good question. The guy, and I talked with Brad and Kroger about this, the guy who's the flagger, sitting there behind the the boom mower,
Uh-huh.
we need a pole saw in his truck so he can clip in front of yards and homes where we're not.
Break that to them, they'll fix it.
I think that would be a,
I won't put my request in.
You need to put a work order in. I will forget.
it'll be next year.
You already did it in District 3 times.
No, ain't
Next
done my
year.
Bush
district
hog.
We have
At all.
not even boom mower. We have
at all.
Not the boom, but bush hog, what is it on?
So I'll take the first month of.
Actually,
Yeah, after court give it to me and I'll write it down, seriously. I will. It helped, now here's the thing, I can't continue to do that with the Great Oak crew, because we got other work to do. But I was really getting beat up in your area on those few roads. that we had to-
actually, I believe the Great All has an attachment, I believe.
That's what we were using. To saw with,
Uh-huh, to saw it.
it does, but then you're out there sawing, you're taking that attachment off to go to this attachment.
Yeah,
We'll do it.
all right, yeah. I'm not complaining.
Right. But I'll get with you, we'll see how it all continues to go.
Before
Great
I
Oak
leave
crew.
this office, I'm gonna get another boom mower, maybe 5 of them, put one in every district.
I think another one would be really good.
How many hours is on that? It's 12 years old
It's got some
now.
time on it.
Yeah.
I think it was bought before I went in office. so
Yes, it was.
It's 12 years
It's
old.
been out long.
How much are you talking about, Sam? How much is one?
About 150 or.
No, not that.
No, not that much,
No, no.
somewhere around, I don't remember.
No,
This you get
The
that
boom
too.
mower's $90,000, but the tractor is 100,000. so
I don't think it was
No,
that
it
much.
ain't that bad.
No.
Pretty close.
Now, I'll get you them.
It's 110 horse.
Yeah, it's been-
Equipment's one thing, employees is a whole nother issue.
Dollar horse.
And that's an ongoing thing when you're not doing what they do.
And that's a very
Be careful
slow
weeding into
process.
those weeds. So, just
So that,
Point
either
well
a Great
taken.
All would be a great addition.
I started something.
Well, it seems like a great option.
You did some stuff.
All right, we got that culvert done on Boone Mill. We'll see how that works out, Keith, you've seen it.
Yeah.
And if we need to go back, we may have to put a drop box in, Keith knows about that.
I went over the other day after the rain, it's been fine.
All right, I'll let Tyler talk about what we did at Dean Watts Park for him here soon. Cecil Ridge, we took care of that for you, Keith.
I heard they called and thanked me.
Okay. Hardin Leslie, you guys had approved a lowering hump project. We're installing the cul-de-sac. It needed it. We used to turn around. You guys don't even know how we turn.
That's emergency.
And a private driveway. So we're working on that. Hopefully after this week we'll be done with that. That was a good project. It's going to be a good project. And just typical other stuff with the grade on and whatnot.
Thank you, Brad. Jail report?
Okay, today we have a total of 146 inmates. I have 5 in Hardin County. We have 2 on home incarceration. We have 53 state inmates. Weekenders, we have 1. We have 6 out in other counties in court. So we have an in-house total of 132. July's daily average, control intake, it was 22 per day we averaged. Class D's, we averaged 34 a day. Nelson County inmates, we averaged 105 a day. So the total daily average for July was 161 inmates a day. New arrests and releases for July, we had 126 males, 59 females, a total of 185. We had the same in releases too. That hardly ever happens like that. Sentenced inmates in district court, we have 6. We have 1 serving the weekend. We have 16 waiting for court. Home incarceration, we have 2. And then our state inmates, we have 24 controlled intake, 24 Class Ds. We have 5 for parole violations. And so in circuit court, serving weekends, we have 9. And doing community service, we have 6. We have 1 on work release. We don't have any sentence to jail out of circuit court, but we have 1 that's out of drug court. So circuit court, waiting to go to court, we have 55. So we have a total of 71 that has not been sentenced. And I also gave you all a copy. I've got 4 deputies that are certified with TASER. So that is a copy of the policy and the procedure with it. You can have a chance to read it over and maybe get it approved to attach to our policy and procedure manual.
So Dorcas, if you just presented this one, I'd like to read through it.
And
next court
we
meeting.
are going to get more certified in it. The sheriff's department's gonna do it for us this time. Those 4 was done in Hardin County, at the Hardin County Jail. Want to hurry up and get it started, so we do have 2 tasers, and I'd like to have at least 2 deputies on shift that is certified to use the taser.
Didn't we just purchase 2 tasers in
Yes.
today?
Yes, yeah, that's what, they got the training at Hardin County. But we need a policy of how you
Yeah,
handle
we have to
it.
have, yes, we have to have a policy.
And Dorothy, what I would recommend on this policy, those that are assigned to tasers, make them sign off that they've received a policy.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But let me read through it, I just got this
Yeah, that's what I
one.
want.
Liability issue there. But thank you, Dorothy.
32
That's
started.
all I have to report.
Thank you. EMS report, Joe?
Have your monthly report for July, first month of the new fiscal year. 632 calls were made, 524 were completed calls. That's up considerably over the past year. We're averaging 20.4 calls per day. Out of that, just a little over 4% of those calls are out-of-county, either transfers or out-of-county runs, and, you know, that's about 3.5 hours a call. So the staff is really covered up past in July and still are. So we'll continue to see that growth, I'm afraid.
Thank you.
That'd be my report.
Thank you. Recreation report, Palmer?
The road department's been helping out the last week or so. They came out, dug a ditch for our internet cable to put it in. City also has been helping out with that. Also, one of the crews came out and helped clean the ditch and put in some gabion baskets and some riprap to fix a ditch that was kind of getting ate away. Me and Brett Willett's Landscaping had started painting the soccer fields. Soccer starts this week.
How many, do you remember the number on the kids in soccer?
Soccer, I do not know. They were down last I heard from what they had been, but baseball decided to do a fall baseball, which numbers are up really high in it. Football numbers have
And
actually
that
climbed.
conflicts with soccer, you know, some years they have the fall baseball, some years they don't.
And then football numbers have climbed quite a bit. They're up to 187, I think, somewhere around that, which is quite a bit for since the city schools started their own, which will be a good manageable number for them. Also, as in the last court meeting, we talked about that field
Turf
drag.
machine. No, it's $7,000 with a used one and rebuild or whatever they were doing. I suggested that since we're going to be in the business for a while, that we consider
Here's just
a new machine or I can manage it.
Here's just the totals all together. Show me together.
Is that state price? Or was there a state price?
It's complicated.
It's not exactly,
Keith, you asked is that a state price? What it is, John Deere did not renew their state contract price for this unit. Who he got a quote from is honoring the previous year's price. Is that correct?
Correct. Same with Toro.
They just don't sell enough of them. So sometimes when they redo the state contract price, yeah, they don't.
It's almost like landfill equipment.
Yeah. So when you say that, yeah, we're kind of getting the state contract price.
Compactors.
Yeah, Toro and John Deere both honor the state contract, but the difference is John Deere's pricing, it comes with all the attachments that I need in that price. And then Toro, it was like $14,000, I think, and that was just the machine, and that doesn't come with the drag, the spike, that doesn't come with all the attachments. And then you gotta add all those prices, that's what makes I think $17,500 something. But my recommendation would be that John Deere NY17 1200A bunker rake.
And Ryan and I talked about moving money from one account to another. We only budgeted about $3,000 or $4,000 for equipment. We have $30,000 in there for some capital costs, and that probably won't go all in this fiscal year, so we'd like to move the money from that capital expenditure up to the equipment.
2-year full warranty,
Yes, it's 2 years.
everything.
That I can't answer, he didn't say on
You know,
that.
like if you break the rake for the second time. you
I'd
use it.
say the rate probably isn't on the complete coverage.
So this is just the machine itself.
Probably the motor and the machine.
You know, I used to see a lot of those Jacobsons around the golf courses
Yeah.
when you played golf.
I don't even think Jacobs is in business anymore.
Please?
Jacobson, I don't even know if they're in business no more.
Well, we tried to find it, we have no dealer in this area.
The closest dealer for Jacobson is in either Arizona or New Mexico.
Need a, would,
I'll make a motion to purchase the John Deere equipment for Tyler.
thank you. Second by Bernard Ice. Any further discussion? All approved, say aye. Aye. Disapprove? The motion will carry. Yes, sir.
We had talked about building a multi-purpose building out there. We still plan to do that.
Well, I think there's some planning process needs to happen. Tyler, we probably need to rediscuss that probably and see how we can get that. Let John get his Samuels Hall building out of the way. And he's already got part of his, I guess, reports to the state, so maybe it might be a fall project. We can start just mulling it around.
Okay.
We've got a spot kind of,
Who's on the rec committee?
he's on the rec board. I have a rec committee, I'd have to go back. I think, Jeff, you might be on the rec committee.
Yeah.
We would like input.
And about what do we want, everybody kind of write down their ideas, what do we want to see in this building? What the purpose, obviously, is the storage is very important. We have a very minimum amount of storage. Number two, meeting space for the leagues to have their meetings, could be a benefit.
We might be station ambulance there as well. Little garage for that. Maybe several runs out there.
We'll listen to all suggestions.
Cannot wait for it.
Okay, we'll work, we've talked about it. That building and this roof is kind of on our radar right now. We're doing some work right now downstairs.
Let's see, Kim's office.
When are we going to start the roof? You have any idea? When you
Well,
want to do that?
I can answer that, because that one's in my plate, is the gentleman who's working at Wickland, when we talked to the roof people, JBK, we came down and asked them what they thought about our roof to get their professional opinion. He said, my professional opinion is before you do anything to this roof, you better fix the chimney.
There's some, on the backside of the chimney.
Backside of the chimney, we got some issues.
Well, didn't the brick or two fall off of that the last time you had the?
So I've contacted the gentleman that's doing Wickland this week. He's supposed to come and look at it. The issue is the tower's tall. And, it takes a special rigging to get up there. And so we got to get that part first done before we move on to the roof. So yes, it's on our plate. Yes, I'm getting stuff together on that. So gut feeling is that's probably going to roll over into next calendar year.
We probably, no doubt. But probably, we kind of put together some preliminary cost estimates, afraid to put those out at this point.
Correct.
Sure.
So, but we've already started doing that. So we've had some movement on it, just we'll do it the right way.
I think they're doing an excellent job out with.
Yeah, looks
Yeah.
I've spent 2 or 3 days out there just sitting around watching them, but
still.
The more you dig into
no word
that, it's
from
more
the
complicated
architect
thing
land.
to do it right.
I agree.
Question from Sam, a good question. The engineer study basically at Wickland,
Basically, they said, kind of paraphrase a little bit,
Yeah.
because I didn't bring it with me. The back portion is gone, structurally deficient. And the rear section, the older section that was added on, is structurally gone. On the front section, the original building itself, on the second floor, if you look up the floor joist, about half of those have to be replaced. The portion where the fire was. If you go up on the second floor, the roof rafters, every one of them.
Yeah.
Whole new roof.
Yeah, I agree.
There was some stuff that was covered up that they said until we do more demolition, they wouldn't know. But I would feel comfortable in those areas if it wasn't exposed. We're probably in good shape. So all in all, half of the floor in the second floor, now I'm talking about the main unit, has to come out and be replaced, and then the entire roof. And I would assume that wall of the side where it originally started probably would need to be replaced too. And the issue you're going to get into is odor, truly getting rid of that smoke smell on that one side if you don't replace the wall itself.
Will we send them a copy of the full?
Yeah, I can do that. We just got that back last week and we've been mulling it over.
Replace it, because those joists are the full length of that building.
Oh, yeah.
Well, is there any need to add the back on? No, back part, back on?
I can't, that would be a fiscal court decision. That's not an engineer decision.
I discussed with the adjuster just last week, Brad and I were working on this, and the adjuster has made a recommendation to the insurance company themselves, and they're supposed to be sending me some paperwork in next week or so. So I will let you guys know. All that comes into play of how much money.
Insured, yeah.
How much money. we're
How
gonna
much
get.
was it insured for?
124,000.
I'd do about half of it.
That won't do much on that.
The brick looked good. They said it did.
I looked at the brick, I thought the brick looked
It
good.
cost small, you know, we're.
A preliminary review from a couple of people interested in doing the work. They felt like it'd be pretty close.
Good, that's even better. Maybe if you're lucky, like we did community.
Well, notice that fire looked like it got pretty hot against that chimney, so I wonder if we could get that guy to check that and be sure it didn't burn that mortar out on that side. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, you know, and the only reason, just so you know, public wise, we only had that house insured for $124,000, that's what it appraised for. That back section was built on in a time that the materials weren't real, probably, I don't know what year it was, Brad. We determined that, but the
They said it was
60s,
report, yeah.
50s or 60s or something like that. So it wasn't that, the frame part. I'd have to get the exact time on that.
So was that a building for like the cooks and whoever took care of the?
According to the historians, I believe that house started first.
Okay,
And they lived in that.
And they lived in that house until the bigger house was done later.
okay.
And actually, if you get a chance, when you go in, if you want to come in the office here in a few minutes, there is a Courier Journal story in 1946 of Wickland. Dr. Wright owned it at that time, that's when newspapers were this wide, Randy. A beautiful story on that, if you want to take a look at that, and it's pretty interesting to read some of that history.
Okay.
You know, we'll have to get into, anytime you put news in, anytime we National Electric Codes and plumbing codes, and that just so add to the price.
That's probably not a bad idea.
You guys will get all that information.
Just wondering if they had.
That's a good question, but we do stuff every day, we take it kind of for granted.
Yeah, I'll send you guys the report. I should have already, I apologize.
Anything else, court? Special meeting, just to remind you, special public hearing and court meeting on the 24th. You'll get notification on that.
The amendment to this.
8 a.m.
Okay.
I took that off, I got that resolved. It was already contained.
They gave you that file? Okay.
It was already contained in the documents that Matthew had prepared for us. Anybody else have anything you want to discuss? Otherwise, entertain a motion to adjourn. Make a motion to adjourn. Motion by Jeff, second. Nobody wants to go home? Sam was first. At least he was looking me in the eyes first. All approve, say aye. Disapprove? Motion carried. I would say disappointed.